present day are ruining our societies. So just to give you one example, a narration in Jami' at-Tirmidhi mentions that a person, just so that he can get the favor of his friends, his close circle, he will distance himself from his parents. The idea of abandoning one's parents for their friends was unheard of. In the past, I'm talking about hundreds of years ago, or even in recent decades, if you ever ask somebody in your life who's most important, your parents are your friends, your parents are your coworkers, your parents are, your neighbors, or your parents are this person or that person, there was no debate. It's very straightforward. My priorities are even before myself, my mother, my father, then myself. But if you look at the context today, no matter what we say with our mouths, in terms of what we invest in our families, our parents are usually considered an afterthought. Now, how we can remedy the situation is a separate conversation, but I think it's important for us to appreciate that this idea that distancing ourselves from our parents to get some favor with those who are closest to us is a sign of the Day of Judgment. Now, I understand not everybody's circumstance is the same. For some people, there could be a traumatic relationship between child and parent. There could be some abuse. That's a separate conversation. I'm not talking about outlier, exceptions. I'm talking about normal scenarios where a parent, a mother, a father is doing their best to get close to the child, but the child, with every ounce and fiber in themselves, are trying to distance themselves, is a sign of the Day of Judgment. So I think when we talk about the times getting worse, instead of talking about it in very vague terms, I think it's beneficial that we go through this hadith. And inshallah, over the upcoming days, I'll talk about the different points mentioned in a very lengthy hadith. And the first point I think is very relevant for us is a sign of the Day of Judgment is a person will put aside their parent just so that they can curry favors bisadiqihi, with his friends. What's the broader message of this hadith is those who have invested in me their entire lives. When I was a child, when I couldn't even stand, I couldn't walk, I was crawling when I needed assistance. Those who are there for me, when they need me the most, I shun them to the side. That is the broader message. So let's try to bring this into our lives, how we can develop a relationship with our parents, which isn't indicative of this hadith. And I just want to end on this point. I understand not everybody's relationship with their parents is the same. In some cases, there could be trauma. In some cases, it could be abuse. In some cases, it could be injustice. I don't want to talk about those so people can say, wait, it's not fair because I've gone through trauma. That's a separate conversation. In normal circumstances, if in my life, I am prioritizing my friends, my coworkers, my colleagues, my associates over my parents in understandable situations, then I really have to sit down and take stock of myself. That my parents are saying, listen, I really need to go to the doctor. And I'm like, no, I gotta go play a basketball game. There's something really, really wrong in my life. If my mom is telling me, can you please come home, I need some help. And I say, no, you know what, I just need to work an extra hour. And it's not necessary, it's overtime. Or if my father is like, listen, I need some help in the garage. And I'm like, it's Saturday. I need to go play. I need to sit down and ask myself some serious questions about where my priorities lie. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen the bonds of our family. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us role models for our children so that they find pleasure in respecting us and we can respect our parents in return. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, after the remaining sunan, we will have our weekly hadith session.